It's funny you're even saying it. Let me just digress a little bit, because what you've just said, she had a discussion with Simon Jordan on a podcast. Did you see that? When she talked about she was doing transfer deals, and she used Arsenal Declan Wright thing, because of the relationship Arteta has with Guardiola,
with Pep.
Arteta would have told Guardiola to put a false bid in to make, and I'm like, Simon Jordan was like, what the and you know what's funny, is when she mentioned the budgets that she was working with, why she was 250,000. I'm like, you know,
my God, bro!
I didn't know you saw that, because
I saw it. It came to mind, but I forgot. So I thank you for bringing it up.
I'm talking about personal experience, and I'm talking about the tactics that often help you when you are in a bidding or with a competitor.
Come on, working women's football is very different to men's football, and these kind of deals that we're talking about, in particular with Declan Rice, would be an extraordinary sum of money. Why would Manchester City want to help out a rival that last season was fighting for the title?
And I think you're a little bit fortuitous with your timing. And when you make the observations about punditry, and people making observations about punditry and people talking about it, credible observations, credible opinions. It's great. Anyone can throw out stuff that people react to. And it's about having substance behind what you say. And your experience and relative to you may well be substantive. I do not think they relate to the men's game, not because it's a man-woman thing. It's a scale thing. It's a quantum thing. It's a nature of a relationship thing. And big clubs do not like doing business with one another. They might find a common ground to make sure that the agent is marginalised in it. But other than that, there is not a mutual empathy or a mutual sympathy towards finding a transaction to help someone else in a deal that they wanted to be in. It makes no sense.
Oh my God! Exactly. What is she on?
So, Don, you are seeing the problem. The broadcasters are inserting Eni Aluko into one of the biggest transfer stories of that summer, and they're asking her to provide insight, and that is the level of insight she's trying to provide to somebody who used to own a football club.
Own a football club.
She's sitting down next to somebody that owns a billionaire that owns a football club, and she's talking about how they're struggling to spend $10,000 to sign somebody.
Yes. Yeah.
So that's
$200,000 or whatever it was, £1,000 or whatever she was saying.
So you're seeing what the problem is.
And you're talking about
arguing.
Yes, she's arguing. You're talking about £105 million deal.
She said that Pep Arteta will call Pep. I say, Pep, see, just
Arteta will told Pep to do a false bid.
90,000.
So,
I was like,
to get Arsenal going, because that's what she used to do when she would talk to talk to the owners of the club, being a sports director at, I don't know, she mentioned one team.
Who gives a shit? Who gives a fucking shit? That is the point. The point is that because their football is not real, they can do those criminal activities and not get sanctioned for it. Because everybody knows it's a joke. It's not real. I don't know whether you get the point. That is exactly the point. The point is that at their level, they can be doing their corruption. They can be doing all this nonsense. They can sell matches because nobody is even paying attention. They just said, oh, somebody said that women should be playing sports because men are playing sports. United Nations, FIFA, he for she, all these international organizations say they want to see women participation in sports. So it's okay, you guys take your league, go there, do whatever the fuck you want. Nobody cares. We'll give you whatever money it takes. You don't make any money. They do not make any money. And leave us alone. The women who came out from that institution are now trying to infiltrate the men's game and say, give us a seat at the table. Let us be sitting down with CEOs, club chairmen, Champions League winners. Let's be sharing seats with commentators during live matches. Let's be talking with them as if we're on the same level. Look at that horsey-faced lesbian that is sitting down with Gary Neville and Ian Wright and Roy Keane. They're sitting down with Champions League winners, like Premier League champions, and you're sitting down and you're like, oh yes, I have an opinion. Bitch, wallahi talai, there was an episode, like a clip that I saw. It was Ian Wright and Roy Keane. They were arguing about something. And it was something to do with the game, something to do with a player, something like that. And you could hear the passion of Roy Keane. And even though Ian Wright was disagreeing with him, like Ian Wright had that passion too, where they were just, it was just two men. Like when the conversation becomes deep and it goes beyond football. Even Gary Neville was not really involved in the conversation, but it was just between them. Their voices were going higher and higher and higher, but like they still stayed on topic because they're men. These are matured men, right? And then in the peak of that exchange, that fucking harlot just said I was like, what the fuck is happening? Why is this woman here? Done.
We watched them in the FA Cup a few weeks ago. I watched them at Everton on Saturday. People pretended to be closing people down. But who brought them back into the game? Who's bringing you guys back into the game? You can't. It's not Bruno Roy. When we're talking about somebody who can actually do something to save you lot, it's Bruno who's doing it.
15th in the league, and he's saving them. Praise the Lord.
You should say if he wasn't there, where you'd be.
But you have to have a starting point. I go back to it all. Talent is not enough. You keep going back to go to talent. Oh, the talent. Bruno's a talented player, but talent's not enough.
About Bruno, and I said,
talent is not enough, Righty. Talent is not enough.
What's he won? Now he's won something.
You're impressed. Tony Adams was this. Tony Adams was that. Yeah, because he was a fighter. You've got young players. You have to look at somebody and go, I like what he does. You can't put the ball on the top of the net from 25 yards. I get that. But you want someone's going, lads, are you with me? Are you with me?
Maybe he's not that captain. Maybe he's not that. I'm with
you.
He's not.
I guarantee he's not.
Saving you, playing that pass, the goal.
What's he saving?
He's the one
that's saving. Everton.
What's
he saving?
If Bruno's not there, United are in the relegation place. If Bruno's not there.
What's he saving them? What's he saving?
At the moment.
We saw him at Leicester a few weeks ago.
You're trying to isolate that particular game. Bruno on a regular basis saves that club in games.
Saves them. We're out in the league. Come on, man. We're out in the league.
Where would they be if they didn't have Bruno?
All right.
Am I right or wrong?
That place above it.
I think
They're giving you signed a deal, an exclusive deal with Sky Sports to have a football podcast where they will give you whatever money you want to bring whatever player you want. Why the fuck would Gary Neville say this woman should come and join us? Does that make sense to you?
No, of course not, man. I mean, that whole diversity, quality shit. That's what it is. She's got no reason to be there. She hasn't and can never experience those guys have experienced in football terms. She has no. Because of her, sometimes I don't watch the show.
I don't. Yeah, once I hear her voice, I tune out immediately, without fail. Don't.
There's times I watch it and I don't act as if you're on the same level as those guys. That's what pisses me off. That is my problem with these people. Instead of you to sit there and learn and put your own. Don't try and put. Oh yeah, I know what you mean because I had that experience. And she starts talking. I'm like, you know what?
Just like, bitch, go home to your husband. Why are you talking with this man? Look, there was like, if you compare it to like, if you compare it to the CBS people, you have Kate Abdo, fine woman.
That's a different approach.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. She is fine.
And I love the show for that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Kate is always saying, Thierry, please tell us. Yeah, you know what I mean? He lets them.
Let's learn from you, sir.
Yes.
Let's learn
do you understand what I'm saying? You know what? Apart from that, she's good to look at because you know what I mean. They know why they've got her there. Her knowledge of football is unbelievable. On top of the fact that she speaks a bunch of different languages, she knows how to do her job because she lets those guys give us insights based off of their experiences.
If we want women to have these jobs, which for me, they should not be outside the house. And with President Buhari, I only know women in the kitchen, in the parlor, and in the other room. But if you're a so-called advanced society where the women must be out of the house, the women must abandon their children at daycares to be press secretaries at the White House, right? Because that's what women do now. They change diapers in the press secretary office of the White House. That's fine. But your job is not to give opinions. This is football. You've never played it. So stop. Right? Just be there, be beautiful, and Aluko is nothing to look at. Right? And as a footballer, she should only give opinions. As a super footballer, she should only give opinions on female football. But she knows that nobody is watching their matches or their analysis. That's why she has to come where the money is. Because women, or whatever they cry about equality, they don't want equality in the coal mines. They don't want equality on the high tension wires. They don't want equality on the high seas. They don't want equality drilling for oil. They want equality in the best, most comfortable, and the so-called easiest jobs. But you've never taken a tackle from Elokobi. You've never taken a tackle from any of these African monkeys that run around in the Premier League. Yeah. You've not done it. So the women who are in football, they should be presenting, they should be beautiful.
The African brothers monkeys, you know.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, that should be retracted. But yeah, I
won't do it again. Yeah. Right? They should be beautiful. They should just ask the questions that the producer fits to them. You know, or if you're intelligent enough, like Kate Abdo, you come up with your own questions, and you ask, and you're pretty, and we can flirt with you, and you can be touching on wrist hands, sexual attention. That is allowed. That's what we like.
Yeah.
Nobody hates Kate Abdo, but all of a sudden everybody hates.
No, because everybody has to do a job. She wants to. Yes, exactly. So please tell me.
They need to understand that football is a male game. If you are here, it's either you are beautiful, like Kate Abdo, or you don't give your opinions, like Kate Abdo. At least when Kate Abdo comes to do her Champions League predictions, she'll stand up. You can see her body in full. It's very nice. She wears tight clothes. You understand? Then she walks across the screen. You see her shape. You understand? But she's not arguing with Henri. She's not arguing with Canada that with you. This is how we used to do transfers.
Yes.
In England, sunflowers. Like who the and just going back to that overlap with that lesbian. What